Welcome to Lesson 54, Cloud Cost, the new sysadmin discipline. Here's the brutal truth. One forgotten EC2 instance burns 500 a month. A misconfigured S3 lifecycle can hit 50 grand, and a bad architecture can rack up $1 million a year in egress fees. Companies now blow 30 to 40% of their IT budget on cloud, which is exactly why FinOps exists, and why a junior who can read a bill and find 30% in savings becomes a six-figure hire fast. So where does that waste actually come from? Mostly picking the wrong pricing model. There are four, and the rule is simple. More commitment, more savings. On demand is the default. Full flexibility. Highest unit price. Great for dev and bursty work. Reserved instances lock you in for 1 to 3 years and cut 30 to 72% off. Perfect for that database running 24/7. Savings plans are AWS's flexible middle ground, around 28 to 47% off, and Spot up to 90% off spare capacity. But the provider can yank it with 2 minutes notice, so stateless workloads only. Never your production database. Pricing models matter, but most waste comes from 4 repeating patterns. And once you can spot them, you can cut a bill by 20 to 40% overnight. First, idle and orphaned resources, forgotten dev instances, unattached volumes, snapshots from VMs deleted years ago. That's 25 to 35% of spend in a typical org. Second, over-provisioning. Someone picked 16 vCPUs just in case. Actual usage is 5%. Third, egress, cheap to store, expensive to move. That 9 cents per gigabyte adds up fast when a backup ships out daily. And fourth, no reserved capacity. A production database running 24/7 on on-demand pricing is $50,000 a year you didn't have to spend. That last one, no reserved capacity, leads us straight here, the 4 pricing models side by side. On-demand is your zero commitment baseline. Flexible but full price. Reserved gives you up to 72% off, but you're locked in for 1 to 3 years on a specific instance type. Savings plans trade a bit of that discount for flexibility across instance families. And Spot, 70 to 90% off, but the cloud can yank it back with 2 minutes notice. Match the model to the workload. On demand for variable dev. Reserved for that 24/7 production database. Spot for stateless batch jobs and ML training. A mature shop runs all 4. Now, knowing the pricing models is useless if you can't read the bill they generate. And cloud bills are brutal. Hundreds of line items, cryptic service codes. So learn these 4 techniques. 1. Open Cost Explorer. Group by service. Sort descending. Your top 3 services are 60 to 80% of the bill. Start there. 2. Tags, environment, team, project, owner. Without them, nobody can answer who spent this 50 grand. 3. Anomaly alerts at 20% over expected, so you catch the leaked credential running a crypto miner in hours, not at month end. 4. Showback builds awareness. Chargeback enforces consequences, and the junior who can translate a bill to a non-technical manager. Instantly valuable. Reading the bill is step 1. Acting on it is FinOps, and it's now a real job, with engineers pulling 130 to 200K. 4 practices run the cycle. Kill orphans first, unattached volumes, idle load balancers, stopped instances still billing for storage, easy 5 to 15%. Right size, next. A 16-core box at 5% CPU is a 4-core box in disguise, 30 to 50% saved. Then commit reserved instances on anything running 24/7 for 6+ months. Biggest ROI lever you have. And finally, architect for cost from day 1. Serverless for spiky loads, Spot for batch, same region data and compute. Architecture beats optimization by 10x. Now let's put it to work. 4 real tickets you'll actually see. CFO asks why the bill jumped 40%. Open Cost Explorer, group by service, drill into the top mover by usage type, and brief them in 3 lines. Dev wonders why test costs $5K a month. Right size and auto shutdown nights and weekends, 60 to 70% gone. New FinOps hire, Hand them a 30-day roadmap. Tag, kill, resize, commit. And an S3 spike of 200% almost always means a missing lifecycle rule. Push old data to IA, then Glacier, then delete. Before we wrap, lock in the vocabulary. 12 terms that show up in every bill review and procurement call. On demand, and savings plans are your 3 pricing lanes: flexible, locked, or hybrid. Spot is the 70% discount with a 2-minute eviction notice. Egress is the silent killer at 9 cents a gig. Tags drive showback and chargeback. No tags, no accountability. Orphans are unattached volumes and idle IPs quietly billing you. And TCO reminds everyone that cloud cost is never just the invoice. It's cloud plus ops plus people. Now, 5 myths that quietly drain budgets everywhere. 1. Cloud is always cheaper. False at steady scale. Dropbox saved $75 million moving off AWS. 2. On demand is fine. We'll optimize later. Later never comes. And you burn 30 to 70% extra in the meantime. 3. Just upsize. Most apps aren't CPU bound, so you pay 4 times more for the same performance. 4. Disable the noisy alerts. Catch waste day 1, not day 30, or you'll explain a $50K surprise. And 5. FinOps is finance's problem. Wrong. It's engineering, finance, and business together. And juniors who show up in that conversation get noticed fast. So here's where you land after lesson 54. 4 pricing models, 70 to 90% savings on the table, 30 to 40% waste hiding in every account, tags as your FinOps foundation, and the instinct to architect for cost from day 1. Read the bill, kill the orphans, that's the discipline. Next up is lesson 55, the stage 7 capstone, where we unify all 5 cloud lessons into one cloud-aware ticket flow and walk a real architecture decision end to end. Then stage 8, career start, kicks off. See you there. See you.